last week we talked about 5 things not to do when your partner says, I want out of the relationship. So that was great information. We kind of walked through a number of bullet points. Lee Balcom, PhD, was sort of the motivation for a lot of those points. So just wanted to call that out.
So go back and check episode 52 if you missed that one.
And this week we are talking about
the guide to winning your partner back.
What to do if you want them back.
Yeah, we're staying on the positive side this time. What to do.
Yep. Then we're going to get into the question of the week.
My husband's always checking for an X on Facebook. What's new?
The check for the X.
And doing it well.
Doing it well. We're going to finish it up with doing it well because that's how you need to do it if you're married out here.
Kill the routine, y'all.
There you go.
Inside or outside.
Should be an interesting conversation today, baby.
All right, so discussing the do's of how to save the relationship. And as we say, we talked about in episode 52, what to not do.
Right.
So the first thing we want to say is no.
Just say no, like Nancy Reagan.
To manipulation.
No manipulation, right? You don't want people kind of pulling your strings and making you do this or that, and that's not really fair play.
No,
right? You're talking about your primary relationship. You want to make sure that you're on the same page. So, a lot of people out there make manipulative suggestions and don't abide by any of them, right?
Yeah, and this is a reiteration. We said this last week, but this is first and foremost. Stay on the positive side, no manipulation. The second thing is to stay calm.
Yeah, try not to be too reactive. You want to keep it calm, keep it center of the road, keep it easy going.
And as we said last week, panic is the enemy.
Yeah, not panic at the disco.
You have to stay calm.
Panic is the enemy.
Yeah, you have to stay calm even if your partner's not calm.
Yeah.
There's no excuse not to control your emotions. Would you stomp into your boss's office and yell and scream at them? Probably not.
I don't think so.
But we do it with our partners all the time. We choose how we're going to respond.
Yeah, but
keep that in mind.
You totally missed my pop culture reference right there.
I'm sorry.
Panic at the Disco. So I slid it in there so smooth.
You did. No panicking, y'all. Stay calm.
The third thing is be consistent.
In the midst of a crisis, your partner does not need to see indecision.
Right.
Stop trying new things. Choose your direction to repair your relationship and stick with it.
I think that's a key point, right? Because you want to do some introspection, have some reflection around what happened, what's gone wrong in the relationship. So you want to address those issues, but you don't want to completely be a different person than you have been from that perspective. So there's a little distinction there that we
if you keep trying different stuff over and over, your partner's not going to know who they're dealing with.
What's going on?
And so it just reinforces the idea that they need to back away from you. So you have to stay consistent with things. Don't become erratic. Don't make erratic decisions. If you say you're going to do something, do it. If you say you're not going to something, don't do it. Don't go back on what you said you were going to do. You have to stay consistent. At this point, if they see anything inconsistent, they're gonna say you can't be trusted.
Right.
Be constant. What's the difference between constant and consistent?
I think that what you want to do is you want to keep doing what you're doing, do things on a regular basis, and that way your partner can perceive you as being dependable.
Right.
You aren't getting, if you're not getting the response or you're getting a failed response. Just keep doing it anyway. The whole thing is to be constant with everything that you're doing to rectify where you are.
And if you're becoming frustrated, I'm doing it, I'm not getting a response, seek guidance or just a venting place and a therapist or a very close friend that has a closed mouth.
Yeah, we talked about that last time, right? On the last podcast, rather. So I think that's important. If you feel like you need to engage with a professional, with a minister, someone who can give you some wisdom around the situation that you're dealing with, I think that makes a lot of sense in these kinds of scenarios, and they can help guide you through this.
So work on yourself, guys. It's time to work on yourself. When your partner comes to you and asks you to separate, divorce, no longer want to be with you, it's time to turn the mirror around and work on yourself. If your partner has asked you to change something, your habits, working too much, showing too much emotion, being a little too dramatic. This has likely been going on for a minute. So if they've asked you, so you need to stop, look in the mirror, think about those conversations, and start to make some of those changes that your partner has mentioned in the past. We're never done changing.
Right.
I'm not the woman Heath married, almost 30 years ago. He's not the man that I married. We've constantly changed through the years. You're going to continue to grow and change and learn.
Yeah.
So as soon as you think there ain't nothing wrong with me, I'm good, or you're stagnating. You're stagnating.
Yeah. So I think the key here is to understand that it's not about trying a bunch of different things.
No.
It's about growth, right? It's about evolution. It's about maturity. It's about evolving to what you're going to become, right? It's not about hey, I'm going to do this by this date, and I'm going to make this proclamation about X, Y, and Z.
As a matter of fact, don't say anything. Do not proclaim, I'm going to do this, like he said,
Don't talk about it, be about it.
Let it be seen, not heard.
Yeah.
You will not be perfect at this, right?
Nope.
But if you proclaim the change, and then it doesn't happen.
So now they're just looking for it.
They're looking for it. You'll be held accountable. And when you fail, it will seem like a total failure, not just a slip up.
Right.
So if you're going to make a change, make that inward change and let it be seen.
Yeah. The next point is try not to separate.
That's a big one.
Try to both stay under the same roof. And, separation is
a dress rehearsal for a divorce.
So that's what you're doing. You're practicing what it's going to be like to not be married, to not be together, right? So that's not really what you want to do in these kinds of situations. So I remember I used to talk to my mom about a spat that she and my dad might have had over the years or whatever. And so my parents were married for 47 years before my dad passed. And so I asked my mom one time, I said, Mom, so what did you do when you guys ever had a big fight or something? She said, child, I told him, don't even worry about it, child. You must think I'm a fool. I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to paint a stripe down the middle of this house and you go over there and I'll be, and right. And so the idea is, divorce is not an option. Separation is not an option. If we have some issues and we just need some time away from each other, hey, maybe we just need to divide up the house for a minute. Whatever it is that you need to do, right? So the point is that do everything you can to stay together.
Yeah, it's just remember, separation is a divorce. I'm gonna practice being single, and distance and absence makes the heart grow fonder
of someone else.
Keep that in mind. The next thing I think is pretty important. This is something that we try to do in our marriage overall, not just you're having problems or something, but don't show any negative emotions. You don't want to be dramatic. You don't want to just burst out crying all the time and, physical outbursts. It's scary, and also on the other end of that, don't be too detached.
Yeah, you start getting distant,
Yeah.
It gets weird, right? You want to act in loving and caring ways.
You want to be kind.
Yeah, not being overly emotional in your feelings, I think is a term that people use a lot today. It's not about seeking extra physical attention. It's really about just staying positive, and that's really going to help you in these kinds of scenarios.
I think what your partner is probably looking for is acceptance. They've just told you, I don't want to be with you anymore.
Right.
And I think if you show them that, hey, I understand what's going on. I think I understand what's going on. I'm going to try to work on me, and I still accept that you feel that way.
Right. And they also want to feel wanted. Right?
Yeah, they still want to feel wanted by you. They don't want you to just kick them to the curb. Don't get it twisted.
Right.
They just don't need your neediness because it's going to turn them off.
Yeah.
It's going to turn them off. So try to keep your emotions in check. Try to kind of keep your hands to yourself, Don't jump on them with their shortcomings and you brought this on yourself. I don't know, so-and-so told. Don't go there.
Don't do that.
Keep it really, really high vibe. Stay in the vortex, as my daughter would say, and keep it really emotionally even keel.
Yeah, when your relationship is in crisis.
Yeah,
Very key point.
when you have to keep it really even.
Yep, which takes us to the next topic, which is not topic but point is you want to slowly reconnect, right? When you've had these kind of dramatic things happen in your relationship, you have to take some time. You're not just going to snap your fingers and everything is going to be good.
Right.
You say, okay, I'm over it now, and sometimes you're really going to need to slowly get back to where you were or where you want to be or where you're going in the future.
You're going to have to nurture that friendship again.
Yeah, keep that in mind.
And just try to go back to when you first knew one another.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
That's always a good plan, right? You go back to when times were better, when you had a different approach to everything, and really look at some of those kinds of things.
You don't want to talk about the relationship, though.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to go, so how's it? How are you feeling now?
No.
You don't want to go there.
Mm-hmm.
You only want to discuss it when they discuss it.
Mm-hmm.
And you only want to bring it up when they bring it up.
Yeah.
Do not always come at them with, okay, I want to know how you're feeling now. Are you feeling any different? Is it any better? You don't want to do that.
No.
Because it's just going to kind of push them into a different mode.
Mm-hmm.
If you're thinking about running out and grabbing a cup of coffee or something,
Mm-hmm.
say, hey, I'm going to grab a cup. You want to go?
Yeah.
Hop in the car, or you're in the car together. Hey, I'm going to pull over here. And when you sit down and have that light banter, keep it a light banter.
Right. That way it's casual, it's conversational. It's not threatening.
Non-romantic.
Yeah.
Not about relationship. Keep it real light. Talk about people, gossip, whatever. Keep it really light. You want to show your pleasant self again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good.
Right.
I'm okay. Are you okay?
Yeah. Because it'll get better over time.
Because it will slowly improve as you become their friend again.
Yeah. You got to keep it there, though. You can't go swing one way or the other.
Now, if all of these things don't work, the next thing is kind of a few steps that we suggest. And the first part of it is to write a letter.
Yeah.
You want to take the responsibility for what you did or didn't do or didn't cause or whatever caused the disconnection. First, take responsibility. Not full responsibility. Right. But in a marriage, both partners have some responsibility. So you need to fess up to that in that letter.
Absolutely.
It has been also in the letter, describe the relationship you want to have going forward.
Yep.
Not about the past. Don't talk about the past. Don't talk about what you would have done. Focus on the relationship and what is going to work going forward. Focus on we.
Yeah.
Paint a picture. Talk about, all of that. Make apologies for past actions.
Yep.
But not explanations. Just say, I'm sorry. Don't go into why and this is because what's going to happen is they're just going to look at it and say, okay, that's an excuse. It's going to shut them right down.
Yeah.
That's an excuse.
Yeah, another thing is that you can mail it or you can leave the envelope somewhere for them, but sending an email is not the move.
It's too impersonal.
Right.
And you want to put it in a nice envelope and you want to sit it somewhere that they're going to find it, or you want to mail it. You do not want to hand it to them.
Right.
Because they could just say, you know what, I'm not here. Let me just toss it in the trash. And so what you want to do is write the letter, be upfront about everything, apologize for things, but don't make excuses. Don't give explanations. Do not hand them the letter. Mail it or leave it somewhere for them to find it.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you want to give it a few days. Don't hit them up the next day. Hey,
you see my note? What do you think about my letter?
Go back to the last step and say coffee, ice cream, walk the dog, whatever.
Yeah, give some time to absorb it.
But check this out. Don't ask about the letter. Right?
Yep. Which is brings us to
because
the next point.
Why not ask about the letter, though, baby? It's just gonna show you're anxious.
It's like you just did it to get something back.
Right.
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 You're not in there for the long term. You're just trying to maybe get one step and the next step and the next step and next. It takes time.
Yeah.
You got to reconnect. You got to go through the process. hey, you got to this bad place. It's going to take time to get to a good place or a better place. So just be patient with it.
Now, if this works,
you got to start finding common ground again. So that's the key right there. You got to ask them. Okay, make you a to-do list. Make a
life
make
list.
Make a life list,
Yeah.
right? You start planning and dreaming together again, right? You got to understand what's going on with each other.
Right. So
get on the same page there.
And then once you see what their list is, ask them to share. You want to share your list with each other because you kind of wrote yours out in your letter. So you want to choose one item to share that you probably have in common. And then you might want to try to figure out how to do that together.
Right.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think that's good because if you look at your list, you say, I really, really wanted to sail something. Sail the Keys for a week. And you just happen to have that on your list. You say, you know what? Why don't we plan to do that next year? And then map out that experience together.
Yeah.
Right? So then where are you moving to now? You're moving to planning, dreaming, and supporting. So the steps that we've given you are just kind of steps to work your way back in. They are not manipulative. They are very open and transparent.
Yep.
But guys, if none of this works, you're still in a good place.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Because you've done all these things to improve yourself, right? You've seen a therapist. You've had some reflective time. You've looked at yourself. You worked on yourself inwardly. You matured as a person. You made an effort to keep your relationship together. You've done a number of things to handle the crisis, and you've gotten your marriage back on track. And even if it didn't work out, you've improved your life. You've improved yourself.
Right.
So that's going to be key with whatever you do in your life and in your pursuits as you move forward, whether it becomes another relationship, work, career, entrepreneur, whatever it is, right? And so that's really a key to life is that you grow, you mature, you learn, and you keep it positive.
So go ahead and try these things. We wish you all the success and love, and thank you for listening.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Question of the week.
What's the question of the week?
Ooh.
Okay, let me read it.
Okay.
I'm going to read the question of the week. Okay. My anonymous question is...
You need your glasses, babe?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, excuse me.
My husband has been checking for his ex-fiancée on Facebook on and off for the past few years. And every time he goes to his hometown, I can see he's looking for her on Facebook.
What?
Even on our wedding anniversary.
Oh my gosh.
Am I reading too much into this, or should I just assume he still has feelings for his ex-fiancée? We had a big altercation recently, and he abandons our marriage. I'm assuming he wants to be closer to her when he abandons me and checks with his ex. He denies it and says he hates her, and he's just being nosy. I'm not slow. I just want to make sure I'm not tripping before I make the decisions I need to make. Signed, Anonymous.
Woo, child. So, I'm not sure why he's checking for his ex.
Yep. Old habits hard to break sometimes. That could be one thing.
Oh, habits.
Yeah, I'm saying he might have a habit of checking for her, right? They were engaged. She said his ex-fiancée. So he hasn't had a mental change in where he is to his new scenario. So he's still occasionally checking for his ex.
Okay, so they're married now.
Yeah, he got to switch his game up. He
has to switch his game.
He got to change his mental.
Yeah.
But I'm saying maybe what's happening here is that he hasn't done that yet.
Yeah. I don't think she needs to go negative. I think she needs to stay positive in this.
Yep.
And then help him avoid these situations.
Yeah, work with him.
I mean, we have a rule. We try not to be friends with people. We probably have one or two. But people on Facebook that we have had relationships with.
Right. No ex on social.
Yeah.
No
it just
exes.
doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
Yeah. Keep it simple.
It keeps it real simple. So they may need to come up with like some real rules or something like that. And then she needs to check herself. What's she doing? And not in a blame kind of way, but what is just make sure she's not doing something like that.
Sure.
To make him feel like he can do it.
Right.
Not what's she doing to make him do it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying what she just needs to make sure that she's not doing like behavior that makes him go, okay, I can do this then.
Yeah.
So, because that happens a lot, and that's a natural inclination with people, just to mirror what you're doing. So, that's probably what she needs to check. But I think it can be remedied. I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think she needs to get, a divorce or anything like that over it.
Right.
If he's now, when she says he's abandoning the marriage, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, it's hard to read. It's hard to read into what she means by that exactly. I think what she's saying is maybe he's bailing out on family scenarios.
Yeah,
he's not, at the dinner table. He's eating by himself and scrolling through his Facebook on his phone, checking for his ex. That was my perception of what I was reading.
Okay.
And so, if that's in fact what's happening here, that makes sense to me. So I think that, to your point, that they need to have a conversation about it, that they need to have, she needs to express that it makes her extremely uncomfortable and that it's not appropriate. So maybe they set some rules around, to your point, of what they need to do moving forward connected to the ex and exes in general.
But she needs to stay positive around it. She doesn't need to come at him.
Yeah, you don't just throw your husband away just because he, doing something that can be corrected.
And don't come at him negatively about it.
Right.
That's the other thing I was going to remind her to do.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, absolutely. It's not a game breaker. There's hope there, and stay positive and keep working through it.
I agree.
Yes.
We agree on that one?
Yep.
So, doing it and doing it.
And doing it well.
Doing it and doing it and I'm saying it this time.
Doing things together. Try new things together, both inside and out. Inside and out of the bedroom, that is. Our sex lives get stale because we fall into routines. That includes the everyday things we do together. So what you want to do maybe is create some new shared experiences. Make an effort to try new things together. It could be taking a cooking class. It could be taking a walk. Maybe going to a part of town that you've never really been into or never really explored. But the key, I think, is doing these things together, right? You want to engage partnership and one-to-one time, doing things in a different way.
Breaking the routine renews intimacy because you tried something new together. Like learn how to make sushi. I love sushi. Learn how to do something hard. If you don't know how to swim, go take a swim class together. Little things like that. When you break your routine life, it does something to the relationship.
If you're not a walk, take a walk.
That's kind of routine though.
No, but I'm saying if that's not in your routine.
Okay. If it's not in your routine, take a walk.
That's what I'm saying.
Or go get a dog and then walk the dog.
Don't get a dog. Yeah, so just break up the monotony, right? So if you're stale, if you're in a stale place, you're in a place where you want to infuse some additional vigor and intimacy, then try something new. What you gonna do? We're gonna try something new.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
We appreciate it, guys. Remember, stay connected. Stay connected to God. Stay connected to your family, and stay connected to your spouse
or your significant other.
One love. HeathAndTracy.com.